I need you to define a compound inequality. Write two inequalities at once, like TWO. Right. Inequalities at once. Since that's plural, I need you to make that a TIES. Thanks. Two inequalities at once. So when you translate these statements, it's going to be a little more complicated than what you did in 3.1. It says the number x is greater than 3 and it's less than 6. Think about a number that x could be. What's bigger than 3 and smaller than 6?
4.
4. Sure. That's bigger than 3 and less than 6. You have to put these two together in one inequality. That would mean all the numbers between 3 and 6. 4 is between 3 and 6. So when you write your answer here, you're going to write the x literally between the 3 and the 6. A lot of people get tripped up. This says greater than 3, but I wrote a less than sign. But remember, if it's written backwards, you have to write the sign opposite what it says. The x is on the other side. So you have to write the sign opposite. Every time it's an and inequality, you're just going to put two less than signs. You're going to put x in the middle. It's going to be like that every time. In this next problem, it says the number x is less than 4 and at least 0. So you're going to take your two numbers here, since it says and you're just going to put them in order. And you're going to put the x in the middle. So I actually am going to write the 0 first, and then put the x in the middle, and put the 4 on the other side, because it always has to be smallest to biggest. I put an equal bar on this side because at least needs an equal bar with it. But again, they're going to be less than bars on both sides, less than symbols. When you do your graph, you're going to have two circles on it. Remember in 3.1, it's an open circle if there's no equal bar. It's a closed circle if there is an equal bar. It's the same thing. I need you to label some numbers over here. I don't really care how far you go, but I need you to go outside of just the two numbers that we're looking for. We're looking for 3 and 6. So I went all the way 2 to 7, so I had a couple extra, just to make sure that they're spaced evenly. 2 to 3 has 2 spots, 3 to 4 has 2 spots, 4 to 5 has 2 spots. And then you put two circles on your graph, one for each of these numbers. Circle at the 3 and a circle at the 6. X is between 3 and 6, so when you graph it, you shade in between the 3 and the 6. This one goes from 0 to 4. So when I label my graph, I'm going to start at -1. And then I'm going to go up to 5 because I need you to label it at least past what you're looking for. You put a circle on 0 and a circle on 4. The 0 one has to be colored in though because it has that equal bar. So you had to color this one in. And then you have to shade in between the two circles. Every time it says and, your x is going to be in the middle. You're going to have a number on each side. So when you do your graph, both numbers, you're going to be shaded in between. This section down here is different because now it says or. Think about this statement. The number x is greater than 8 or less than 5. What number is bigger than 8 and smaller than 5? Process that. Bigger than 8 and smaller than 5. Right? That doesn't make sense. It can't be both. It can't be bigger than 8 and smaller than 5 at the same time. That's why this one says or. Because it's only one or the other at any point in time. So when you write this inequality, it's actually easier because you just write what it says. It says x is greater than 8, so you write x is greater than 8. And then you literally write or. And then you write x is less than 5. Remember, it can't be both of these at the same time. So I'm going to label my number line. 7, 8, 9. I've got my 5 and my 8. Greater than 8, so my circle on 8, and then it goes out. Or less than 5, so my circle on 5, and then it goes out. Every time it says or, it's going to be in two pieces, like that. This one says x is less than -1, or at least 1. So or, remember, at least is greater than or equal to. Everybody always messes that up. X is greater than or equal to 1. So now when you do your number line, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. X is less than -1 or greater than or equal to 1. So fill that one in, and it points out again. All and inequalities should be in between. All or inequalities should be going out. I want you to try and finish this paper. Turn it yellow if you think you're good, and I'll just come check it when I get a chance. Or turn it red if you still don't understand how to do it. And I'll come back and go over it with you again.